Hey, it's Steve again. Wanted to talk about in this process of purchasing a home, what are your buyer costs? So if I have a customer and they come up to me and say, "Hey, Steve, this is my first home to purchase. What's this going to cost me?" Not just the mortgage fees and all that kind of stuff, which I explained in another video, but the overall costs. From the start to finish when we go under contract to the closing table. Well, let's go over a few. Let's go over some of the upfront costs, initial costs that you're going to run into when you go to purchase. When you go to purchase a home and you go under contract, especially if you're financing, in most cases, when you apply for a loan, they're going to collect a fee from you, unless they're rolling it into the product. So if you have a broker, mortgage broker, and we have a contract on a $300,000 house, they may ask you, "Hey, there's an application fee for $400. Okay, that's up front. So you're going to have to write a check or a credit card or what have you, most likely a check for $400. That is usually what's used to cover the cost of an appraisal. So an appraiser is going to go out to the house during the process for the bank, for your lender, and look at the value of the home. Because the bank's going to make sure that they're lending you the money. They want to make sure that what they're lending it's appropriate. Okay. And this guy behind me, he's thinking hard on this whole subject. So that's one cost. So right off the bat, $400. Once you go under contract, in another video I'd mentioned an inspection. Okay. You're going to have the house inspected. So for the most part, you're looking at about $450 to $550 on an average home. Could be more, $657 if it's a big home. If there's a septic tank involved, or maybe another $350, $400 if you want to do mold tests and that sort of thing. So you've got $400 up front if you're financing. If it's cash, you have none of that. You'll have your inspection costs, but you won't have an appraisal cost or an application if you're paying cash for the home. It's always cheaper if you're lucky and you have cash to purchase a home. It also makes it easier to negotiate and put you in the driver's seat there. That's a whole nother subject. So those are upfront costs, okay? Pretty much until then, that's it until the closing table. Another buyer cost, which will be at the closing table unless you pay for it, well, actually two more costs. There's an insurance policy. When you go to get insurance on the house, you can pay for it up in advance, or you can have it escrowed at the closing table depending on your lender's preference. A survey, if the seller doesn't have a survey on hand or something that's newer that can be recertified, that is a buyer cost. It's not a seller cost. In most cases, unless it's written into the contract, it's very standard in Florida for the buyer to pick up a survey. So that could be $350, $400 on a house. But that cost is not till closing in most cases. So initially, you're going to have an inspection cost and a application for your loan cost, which pays the appraisal. Then you're going to have a survey fee, which is at the closing table. So when you go to closing and you have to bring X number of dollars to closing other than your down payment, the survey will be included in that. Your insurance should be included in that in most cases. So I hope you found this useful, but it's just to prepare you in what you're going to have to upfront immediately when you start looking for a house, when you go under contract, what you're going to pay for. If it's a cash deal, there's no appraisal. Your closing costs are very low, other than your cost to do a survey on the buyer and your cost to do an inspection. Okay. So if you found this useful, and if you have any questions, please give me a shout, text me, email me, call me. I'd be more than happy to help you. And until the next video, thanks. Take care.